Hey everybody, this is Jennifer. I've had some requests from people who are interested to know how to replace an old insole out of their shoes. As you can see, I've got a pair right here. They're pretty old and cracked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pair of pliers to gently peel these back. I'm going to heat it with my glue gun right here and slowly pull back the sole, and that'll prepare it for a new sole. It'll be nice and smooth underneath. You'll notice once I start peeling it back, there's going to be the teal layer. It kind of matches this. It's like a foam that's underneath, and you want to leave that intact. You just want to be pulling back this top leather piece. So I'm going to get started, and hopefully this will be informative for some people who want to do this themselves. The first thing I'm actually going to do here, some of the shoes, not all of them, but some of them you can actually flip the back of the shoe back, the leather here, and that helps you get to the back of that insole there. So I'm going to try it with this one, and it looks like I should be able to do that here. Kind of hard, but see, and that makes it kind of easy to access here. And then once we put a new insole in, it makes it easy to line it up back here, and then we can flip the leather back. And all we do is we heat it carefully with the heat gun, little bits at a time, and peel it back with the pliers. So we keep this on a low setting. We don't want it to be exposed to too much heat here. So let's get started. We want to make sure we're only peeling back this leather sole. We don't want to peel back the teal sole underneath. Be careful not to get the outside leather exposed to too much heat. That's why I'm holding it back like this. Trying to concentrate just on this sole area. And you can try to keep your original sole intact if possible, because then we can use that as a template for cutting out a new sole. So just keep going until you get to the the toe of the shoe in the front. Alright, so once you have the shoes, when you have the soles removed all the way down to where you're in the toe area, I found a new way to get the adhesive loosened up under the toe. What I did is I took a sock, an old sock, and I filled it with rice and heated that rice up to, I put it in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes on high. And it made it nice and hot. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that sock and stuff it in the shoe here all the way up. It's kind of hot, but try not to burn yourself on the hot rice. But I'm stuffing it in the toe of the shoe, and I figured that would be a way to keep it from damaging that leather, but it's heat in the bottom so that that sole will be easy to peel back. I'm going to let that sit for a couple of minutes, and then hopefully by the time I come back with the pliers to pull it, it'll be nice and loose. So we'll see. Alright, so I've taken the sock out. It feels like it's definitely loosened that adhesive up a good bit in there. So I'm going to see if I can get it out with my hands alone. My fingers are very short. I'm probably gonna need the pliers, but it's definitely coming out easier now. That worked like a charm. Here's our shoe. You can see all the way to the toe in there, nice and clean. So the rice method in a sock, I actually heated the rice up in a bowl first. Do not put any water in the rice. It's just raw rice in a bowl for about a minute and a half. If it takes a while to work on the sole and the rice feels like it's not quite as hot anymore, pop it back in the microwave for like another 30 seconds or so. But this method is awesome because you don't have to worry about scorching the leather with the heat gun. So very cool technique here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line these up together and figure out which one's the bigger one, because they're not going to be exactly the same just due to pulling them and stretching them while we're removing them from the shoe. So I'm going to trace the one down here. It's a little lopsided, so what I'm going to do is use the shape of this one. It looks a little more like the shoe here, and I'm going to make an outline, and we're going to use that as a template. And before we actually apply that to the new leather, we're going to put this paper insert in the shoe just to make sure it fits properly, and we can adjust it as needed. So I'm going to trace this one here, and this was the bigger one, so I think what I'm going to do is try to make it this shape under here, but just a little bigger. Okay, so now that we've got our sole completely removed from the shoe, we've used that old sole to make a template and cut out a new leather sole. We're finally ready to go ahead and insert the new sole into the shoe. So what I've got here is the Barge all-purpose cement. I am outside because this stuff has some serious fumes. I tried using it inside one time and it was just so strong, it made my whole house smell. So I suggest using this stuff outside. So what I'm going to do is I have a paintbrush here, and I'm just going to apply this. I'm going to coat the inside lightly with this, and then I'm also going to coat the underside of the soles with it. And you have to let this dry for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then once the two surfaces are dry, we're going to stick the sole into the shoe starting from the back and working our way forward with it. So let's go ahead and start applying the glue.
It's 1:42.
Thanks, baby. And you can you don't have to get all the way to the tip, but I try to get it as far forward as possible. And try not to get it on the inside of the shoe either, just on the sole. It is advisable to wear gloves, but I find it's just hard for me to work with gloves, feeling what I'm doing is very important here. So if you end up getting any of this on your hands, it's recommended you use acetone to clean it up. It takes it off pretty easily. And the stuff does start to, it starts to cure pretty quickly. Shh, shh, shh. Oh, I see. It's a snail. Sorry, I have my daughter here with me. We're outside. Always an adventure out here. But what I was saying is this stuff starts to cure pretty quickly. And don't worry, because it definitely sticks to itself well after 15 minutes. You really want to give it that time. If you stick the surfaces together too soon, you're not going to get a very good bond. So don't feel rushed, but you will feel it starting to get tacky, and that's good. All right, now that we've got both surfaces have had enough time to dry out, and you can even feel it doesn't feel real sticky when you touch one surface, but what happens is once they touch each other, you're not gonna be able to pull them apart. This stuff is amazing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line this sole up, and the main part is we wanna line it up on the very back here, right where the leather of the actual outside of the shoe comes up. It comes right over that teal insole there, so we want to line it up right over that, and then we're gonna feel the sides and make sure it's perfectly in line with that. And the cool thing is it's not going to stick to this, so it's only going to stick to itself. Here we go. If you get any bit on one surface, you can just kind of wipe it off. But you can see there, it's very well bonded. It is not going to come up at all. Once it's fully dry, it is like amazing stuff. The bond just is, this is professional grade, this barge stuff. I had seen another tutorial with a professional cobbler, and this is what they use. So, oops, flowers. But yeah, this stuff is amazing. That's pretty much it. You just cut out your new soles with fresh leather, put them in,